Hi guys, welcome to another video. If you're like me, and I think the majority of you out there are, you're either restoring one of these cars or at the very least doing your own maintenance on one. And I hope, if you're like me, that you're keeping a logbook of all the maintenance you're doing. You know, writing down what you did, the date you did it, the mileage you've done on it, you know, that it was done on. And I've been doing this for quite a while in this little spiral notebook. I've got everything from changing the shocks to the sway bar lengths to oil changes and even changing the windshield wiper blades. Just write it all down in here. Unfortunately, I have 3 cars and I've always written all 3 cars in here, so on any given page you might have an entry for a PT Cruiser, a Subaru, or a Porsche. And it occurred to me not too long ago that I probably should have had individual books for individual cars. That way if I ever went to sell the Porsche, I could then hand the logbook to the new owner. Not that I necessarily think that that would increase the value of the car, but it might increase the desirability of the car for somebody to know the history of it, the maintenance history. I don't have that luxury. I bought this car with no maintenance history whatsoever. So things like the serpentine belt, every now and then I get kind of worried, oh, I need to get in there and check on that, or the water pump, or this starter, is it the original starter because it sounds like it's struggling, you know, kind of thing. And if I had a logbook with all the maintenance history, then I would have some idea as to, you know, what my next course of action would be. So anyway, I went on Amazon and I found a book listed as a auto maintenance logbook. And I thought, okay, there we go. And it had a simulated leather cover. And I thought, oh, leather cover, that would be nice for the Porsche. Didn't really sink in that simulated leather is not leather. What it turned out to be is a photograph of leather. So this thing is actually pretty ugly, and I was kind of embarrassed for it to be, you know, in the Porsche. I will say on the inside it's pretty handy. It's got, you know, places for dates, mileage, and description, and even a list of everyday, you know, or regular maintenance things that you can just check off instead of having to actually write them down. But I went to return it to Amazon, and they must print them on demand or something, because they did give me my money back, but they told me just don't worry about sending it back in. So I may actually use this one for the PT Cruiser since it's kind of ugly. But what I did is I then started looking for something else that might have a leather or a nice faux leather cover, one of my neighbors. But so what I found was these journals. And they're pretty nice, you know, like I said, it's a faux leather cover, but it's nice. It feels like suede or something very soft. It came with a very nice ballpoint pen. And as most of you know, in the Boxster, under the steering wheel, there is a little plastic rack. And I took the measurements of the rack, and I looked at the description on Amazon and made sure that the journal would then fit in the rack. And sure enough, this one does. A lot of them would have. I liked this one. It has a little bit thicker pages, and they're nice. I wrote down, you know, everything from my original spiral notebook for the Porsche in here. Unfortunately, I realized that a lot of times I didn't write the mileage in my spiral notebook, and I really wish I had done that, but at the very least I have the dates of when things were done. So FYI, try to remember to write your mileage down as much as possible. People really like that kind of thing. But that little rack under the steering wheel, originally when I bought the car, it had, if I can produce it here, this binder in it. And I pulled it out after I got home with the car and started looking through, and there's just a bunch of cool things. Here's a little book on accessories you could have gotten with the Boxster. Here's the information for the radio. Here's an owner's manual. Here's kind of the story of the design of the Boxster and Boxster S, which I didn't even know in '99. I'm wondering if this book was added later, because I don't think they had a Boxster S. I may be wrong. I'll look that up. But anyway, here's a scheduled maintenance, which this car is so old. This book, I think it just gives you up to about 10 years or 12 years or something. This car is 25 years old now. And then some warranty and customer information. There is, where I got my tag. Oh, If anybody out there knows what this is, if their car has one, I don't know if it's supposed to be for sunglasses. It seems too thin for sunglasses. Might be real leather, but some kind of little pouch was in here. And then there's a business card from the salesperson that the original owner bought the car from. But you know, this is nice. It's nice to have all this, but after I got home with the car and looked through it all, I went to try to put it back in the little rack, and it's so thick. I don't even know how they got it in there in the first place. I ended up tearing one of the screws loose and had to get a larger screw to go in there to hold the rack up. But so anyway, it had sat behind the seat for a while. It sat in the storage compartment over the engine for a while, and now it just sits on a shelf in a cabinet in my garage where it stays clean. I have to remember if I go to sell the car to make sure this goes with it. But it's kind of nice. Anyway, yeah, I think this will be a really nice addition, though. I think it looks the part, and it'll have all the information, and like I said, hopefully make the car a little more desirable when it's time to sell, if it's ever time to sell. I keep saying that, but I really enjoy the car too much to even think that way. So speaking of maintenance and stuff, I've got a lot of things that I would like to do to this car whenever I get some money saved up. I've got warped rotors on the front, or at least I think they're warped rotors. I'm going to try to get a dial indicator and one day check and see. I may have warped hubs. I hope not, because I've already taken all that stuff apart once. I hate to go in and try to take that apart a second time just to change the hubs out. I could have done that while I was doing the wheel bearings and things. But yeah, I want to get new rotors, and of course that'll mean new brake pads and new rotors and pads in the back. In the back, I don't know why, but the people before me, they put metallic brake pads on the back, and so even though the backs don't work as hard as the fronts, every week I have to wipe the rear wheels off to get all the brake dust off. It's so nasty. So I look forward to putting some nice ceramic pads on the car. And also I bought some brake caliper paint. Let me show that to you. Okay, so here's the brake caliper paint. It's not a spray on, it's a brush on, but it is a self-leveling. The company is G2, and it got a lot of good reviews. I just hope it's still good. It's a two-part. You open this up, pour this in, stir it up really good, and then you have a certain amount of time to get it on the calipers. But I bought this, I know it's been over a year, it may have been over 2 years ago. It's never been opened, so I hope that it's still good. It did come with some cleaner, to clean first, instructions on how to do it are online and everything. But one day, hopefully, when I do get the new brake disc, I'll go ahead and take care of everything. And I even, you know, the brake calipers themselves have Porsche written on them, so if I paint, I'll paint over that. But I went on eBay and got what is supposed to be heat-resistant stickers, and to put over, you know, once I do paint, the paint sets up and dries, I'll get the appropriate size Porsche sticker then and put on the brake calipers. Other problems I'm having, cruise control doesn't work. The light comes on if you turn the switch on, but it doesn't work. So I'm thinking there may be a sensor, maybe the one that connects to the brake pedal or something that needs to be replaced. My starter does sound a little weak, so I may have an issue and need a new starter. Right now, actually, I have a check engine light. I've never had, the whole time I've owned the car, it's never had a check engine light on. Check engine light came on. It was about a day or two after I had filled up with gas. So I just recently took the gas cap back off, made sure the gasket was clean, got it back on nice and tight. I'm hoping it goes out on its own soon. But I am thinking about ordering a scanner. The one on Amazon that caught my eye was the Foxwell NT301 OBD2 scanner. If any of you guys have any experience with this scanner, let me know. Again, it was the Foxwell NT301. It's the cheaper of the ones. That's why it got my attention. But I am curious if it'll also be compatible with the PT Cruiser and the Subaru Crosstrek that I have. The PT Cruiser, I get check engine lights on a regular basis. Usually just unplug the battery for a while, plug it back in to clear the codes. But anyway, it would be nice to have something to really tell me what's going on instead of me just getting in there and blindly trying to figure it all out. And something else I need to take care of, the convertible top. A while back in a video, I had realized that the bushings in the linkage for the convertible top were just worn out, and when I drive around with the roof up, there's just some rattling going on. It just kind of bugs you. And it's fall, it's November right now, and so we're going to be getting into that top up kind of weather pretty soon. And so it'd be nice to take care of that. And I actually found the bushings online, and I think they were less than $10. And something else I want to check on is this piece of trim right here in the very front of the frunk. I don't know what happened to this one, but I don't know if it's the sun, the UV, dry rotted or something. It's just chipping out around the edges. I have found it online. Unfortunately, I have to resuscitate the car every time I close that to make sure it latches. CPR. But anyway, unfortunately, that piece of trim is looking like it's going to be more closer to $80 or even higher, even for a used one. So I just hope a used one's in better shape than the one I currently have. Anyway, guys, that's really it for this video. That's a quick one. I just wanted to kind of stay in touch with you guys, and I was excited about my new journal/log book, and I really think this is a nice way to go. This more sophisticated look for the Porsche. And anyway, I just, as always, want to thank you guys so very much for your support. I think as of this morning we were at, I believe it was 1,080 subscribers. So if I can find the time and the content to put together more videos, hopefully I can start generating some money off YouTube. Who knows? Oh, speaking of that, a short while back, one of my subscribers sent me a message, and he was interested in donating some money. So he talked me through how to set up a PayPal account and link it to my channel. So if you yourself are at all interested, if you go to my channel's homepage, I know there's a link there now, and you could also donate. And God bless you if you are at all interested in donating to this project. And that is where the money would go. Every bit of the money that would come through that PayPal would then go into like buying the brakes or maybe the OBD2 scanner or something, and I will acknowledge, you know, that is where the money came from for these projects as we go forward. But anyway, once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and until next time, thanks for watching.